Telling you my favorite parts about using Google Apps for education, I would be doing you a huge injustice if I didn't show you Google Forms. Google Forms is one of the best parts of using Google Drive and Google Apps in my eyes. Google Forms just recently had a brand new makeover. If you're on the Forms page, you can see that they've added a whole new group of templates. If you click on the More button, you'll be able to access even more templates that might make your life a little bit easier. I can also scroll down and see other forms that I've made throughout the years. I'm going to start a form from scratch so you can see pretty much the whole thing. Google Forms now lets you choose a number of different colors to make your form. It also allows you to upload an image or to select a theme. This is a really nice new feature to Google Forms that improves the functionality and really the overall look. The button next to that little palette is a preview button. At any time while you're creating your form, you can click the preview button to see what your users will see. The settings button has a lot of handy settings that can make your life easier. We usually select to automatically collect the respondents of the Middletown School District when we create a form, unless it's an anonymous form and we don't want to know who submitted responses. If we're doing a survey or an assessment, we prefer to check off can submit only one response. In the confirmation page, Google has set it up so it automatically sends you the message your response has been recorded, but you might want to personalize your response a little bit more. Submit another response and edit the response are two important options, and so is see summary of responses. Sometimes submit another response comes in handy when I'm doing things like using surveys to ask students what type of websites they'd like to go on during indoor recess. Or going to edit their response comes in handy when I have a long assessment for the students to do that might happen multiple times over the course of a week, where they might go on for 20 minutes to work on one assessment. Editing their response is important to use so they can go back and change what they wrote. See summary responses also can be fun when students can see what other classmates chose. It's really important, just like with a Google Doc, to give your form a name. I'm going to call it test. I'm also going to click up in the upper left-hand corner so it automatically changes. From here, I can write a description of my form to help users better understand what I'm looking for, what type of information I need. From here, I can enter in my first question. I can also choose what type of response people are going to be able to give me. Multiple choice, checkboxes, and drop-down are definitely more controlled responses. Short answer and paragraph, you need to really understand that you're going to be reading each form instead of using the summary options with the multiple choice checkboxes and drop-down. The multiple choice grid comes in handy if you want to make something like a rubric for teachers grading writing assignments. Having the date and time also can come in handy for any of these types of responses. The buttons on the side of your question is where you're going to add a question, add more detail, video or images, or you can add another section. Adding another section is like adding another page. The three dots right here lets you duplicate a section, delete a section, or merge with the above section. Once you get good at forms, you can do some cool things, like have students jump around. So if on question 1 they answered multiple choice A, that would bring them to one section of the form. But if they chose B, it might bring them to another, where they watch a video and answer a little bit of an easier question that might be right for their zone of proximal development. Using Google Forms can really enhance your classroom in many ways, whether it's using it in the beginning of the school year to get information from parents on your students, whether you are using it to give an assessment or use as an exit ticket. The forms can be really helpful. I definitely advise, if you haven't tried using one, to go ahead and give it a shot. Start small, maybe with a small group, before you go large scale. Good luck using Google Forms, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do.